Relax, relax. What's going on, man? What's going on? What? All CPs just smashed. For real? That free analysis that I gave on Sunday, you tell me all TPs just smashed. For SPX9, Journey40, all of them. Sheesh! What's going on, you guys? What's going on? Welcome back to another video with your boy Abe Shaw. As you can see by the title of this video, actually I don't even know what the title of this video is, but all I do know is I'm going to be going over in this video, in this series, I might put this in a vlog or something, who knows. We're going to be going over every single trade analysis that I gave you guys on Sunday, followed by how the market actually played out. So I might insert the clips from the Sunday original breakdown, or better yet, I'm not even going to do that. We're just going to go straight raw sauce, raw breakdown recap on how the markets played out overall for this week. It's actually, as I'm recording this video, it is Thursday, so it's Thursday. It's really my last day of trading. I really only typically trade Monday through, really, I can't even say Monday no more. It's rare when I trade on Mondays. The market has to actually be set up perfectly. But usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are my primary trading days, followed by potentially Friday London session. Depends on, once again, how the market is moving. If the market is moving right, then we'll trade on Fridays. But if not, we won't trade at all. Right? So, without further ado, let's really get away from this camera and come down to this camera so we can go into how the market actually played out, because it's a lot that I kind of want to like dive in and really talk about on how the market actually acted this week. So I'll see you guys on the other side. All right, so actually let me bring my seat down a little bit, and I guess I'll readjust my camera. Boom. All right, so technically on the charts, it was really, in my opinion, and even my K members, percentage of people, they'll say the same thing. It was really just a slow week on the charts. And I always tell people this all the time. Like I've noticed, like obviously when it's a lot of news dropping on the charts, we typically see the market more volatile, moving back and forth, vice versa, versus when there's not a lot of news, usually we see the market starting to consolidate, start to move slow, kind of stay in a one-sided trend for the week, not a lot of pullbacks. And then we have situations like today on Thursday, when it finally the news that was finally coming out for the week, the CPI, the PMI news, I said CPI, I'm tripping. I believe it was the, where we at? Yeah, the PMI news, the fast manufacturing PMI, unemployment claims, flat, like literally all the Euro news that happened at 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. So shout out to my Germany 40 traders, shout out to y'all, or shout out to my GBP traders that trade the currency pairs. And then you got the US news that comes in right at New York session, the 8:30 a.m. unemployment claims, the flash manufacturing PMI. Like once I saw like that, the flash services PMI and the flash manufacturing PMI, I'm like, okay, I know both of those are news that make the market move for real. So I have an idea that Thursday is going to end up being one of our biggest days on the charts. And obviously for me, Thursdays, I tell this people all the time, like Thursday is literally one of my favorite days to trade. One of them always ends up being like my biggest day for the week on the charts, when I'm more confident in the setup, because usually by Thursday we already have our support level, we already have our resistance, we have our zones, we have our areas where the market is playing off of, and we use that to gauge how we trade. So where do I want to start? Let's start with, we can start with US30. Let's start with US30. US30, I want to see, actually, you know what? No, we're going to start with, I believe with US30, I may have, I can't remember if I actually gave y'all one, or yes, I did. Okay, I see it. So let's delete everything and let's rewind from the beginning. Replay the whole chart. So let's go all the way back to what I talked about on Friday. Well, Sunday, right? Boom. We come all the way back to the charts on Sunday. What do we have going on here? Same thing I was talking about the analysis. We have our highest point of market. We have our support level right here. Right, so when I was looking on the charts, and this is actually before the market even opened, if I'm not mistaken, or was it? The market was either open during this time, or no, it wasn't. It was a little bit after this. I can see it now. I'm looking to the left. I'm seeing exactly like where I was at. All right, so this is kind of like right around the time when I was marking the chart. I said one or two things we're gonna want to look for on the charts is either a retest here, and then take buys off of here once it starts to go up, or we want to see some form of a full retest back to this resistance level here, and then take off here. One thing about my analysis and one thing about the market, right? it can get outside of your range. It can get outside of like let me run play on this so you can see what I'm saying. It can like, even though it might not play out when you want it to play out. So let's say like I knew sometime this week, I'm like, okay, eventually maybe it's gonna break this level, we get a retest here. Or eventually, if it does break this level, we can talk about the sales. I'm not sure if I told y'all about the sales on a free video, but I know in my sales shop we was talking about if it breaks this zone, I'm looking for these sales, right? But essentially, what we saw in the charts, right? The market started to tank. Instead of actually coming inside the zone, and before I forget my thought, it broke out of it, right? So it broke out the zone, but that doesn't necessarily mean this play is not valid. It doesn't necessarily mean like, okay, cool, this retest back to here isn't valid. That just means the market has its own goal that it wants to go based off of for the day, and that's how it's gonna move. So like, all I need to know is, cool, if the market does decide to eventually one day come back inside this zone, I still have my same exact analysis that I'm looking for. The only difference is here is if it comes back inside this zone here, I'm paying attention and I'm being cautious of where was the previous lower high that started the sales, here and here. So these are going to be my two main areas I'm looking for to see if the market might reject off of that. But besides that, I'm still, if it comes back inside the zone, I still have that same confidence that I'm looking for my buy opportunity moves off of this trade. Now, like I said, I don't remember if I actually gave y'all the setup on this one, but I'm gonna kind of walk y'all through. Let me see. Let's see. Did I? Actually, yeah. So no, I didn't give you a setup on your study. But I'm looking at two areas that I said in particular. So we had this zone right here. Boom. We had the height, of course, which is already up here. And then we had another area. I'm like, cool. If it give us like a liquidity grab down here, this would be an area that I'll look for those buys. So 1, 2, and 3. As you can see here, the market, I don't even think it came down all the way here. It might have. Or did it do one drop? It did. It did. So look, as you can see here, 38,433 on the Sunday's analysis. And you can timestamp, go back to that Sunday's analysis video at 22:47. Pause it. You can see 38,433. I don't know why I'm saying like that. I literally gave y'all the sniper entry that I was looking for the buys on US30. It with this entry, and then came back inside the zone. And then, like I said, that's where that analysis come in. Now, I'm not gonna lie. How slow the market was looking, like how it was casually not breaking lower highs and staying with the downtrend, it had me thinking, okay, potentially you're moving so slow that I'm at this point, I'm believing that you're getting ready to go for the downtrend. You're not really even considering going for the buys, because if you were going for the buys, you would have broken out. You would have been moving more, showing more signs, but instead it kept creating lower highs, constantly retesting. And if you trade it on, what's today? Today's Thursday. If you trade it on Wednesday, so after this market happened right here, excuse me, yep. So if you end up, it's still Tuesday. So Tuesday, it with it, took off for the buys, sniper entry, market played out perfect, right? Gave us 1,200 pip move from that, well, 2,000 pip, damn it, 2,000 pip move from the initial sweet spot buy entry I told you guys about. Came back. Remember how we talked about if it comes back inside the zone, it needs to break past its previous lower high, because its previous lower high represents the area that it can play as resistance. So, and that's exactly what happened. Like it pushed here, hit the resistance level, and took back off for the sales. But once again, it failed to break. It didn't break. So this is kind of like giving us signs for the support level. But I'm gonna let this all run out because I want to actually get into the point of how the market was moving, like literally between, I'm gonna go to 1 part 2. How the market was moving on Wednesday, literally for the whole day, right? For the whole day. Look at it. Look. I want to make sure I'm not skipping it. So yeah, here we go. So here, all Wednesday, Tuesday was smooth. Tuesday went to major support, bounced off of it, came back to a little high, gave us a opportunity, came back, gave us a buy opportunity. Then Wednesday came. We go to London session. All you see is straight consolidation. So all during New York session on Wednesday, this is when I was in the chat saying, like, hey, like, okay, cool. Like, if it break this zone, we're gonna look for the sales. But realistically, I could tell, like, after the first opening bill candlestick happened right here, and it gave us like a fake breakout, this is that first indication. Okay, it's trying to play around today, and it still didn't break the top zone. Okay, it's really trying to play around today. So this was a day where I actually didn't even take a trade myself. Like I was like, Wednesday, no, I'm not trading. I'm cool with Tuesdays. I'm not touching this on Wednesday. The market want to consolidate. I'm not here for it. And then even at the end of the day, the market actually broke out of the zone again. Broke, retest, closed outside the zone, came for the sales again. Kind of trying to fake people out again that are trying to go for the sales, just for it to actually pump the market and actually close above, like really take back off of those buys again. And that's what we saw on Wednesday. And then that kind of leads us into today, where I'm gonna actually let it run play again. You can kind of see like going into Wednesday, after Wednesday evening, going into Tokyo session, as well as going into London session, the market eventually came back for that 4 retest. Right? So it gave us a break back inside the zone. It retested this zone right here that it broke out of, came to a price trap area. So if you're on the YouTube community, you guys should be familiar with price trap areas. Price trap area is an area where the market, a previous resistance or a previous support. Let me actually say it's better because I know that's gonna be confusing. So a price trap area is an area where the market comes back into a previous zone, right? And it goes back to retest the area that played as support, right? So if it closes back in here, this now becomes a price trap area where it doesn't want to come back outside the zone. It doesn't want to come back out the bubble. It wants to actually stay in the bubble. Like, oh, she never came in here. Now you're stuck, right? And that's what we saw here in the markets, where it just kept creating higher lows and taking back off for those buys. And then that brought us to our Sunday analysis, where we had an idea that, cool, like if it hit this sweet spot, we know US30 loves sweet spots, key price levels. Like I said, I'm telling you, I'm dropping this in the book. So I'm going over price action, key price spots that it loves, right? So it has moments, it has certain time frames with key price levels that it love hitting. And once it hit, it always rejects or respect that price level. So just off of that market manipulation, just off of that retest back to the price of 38,810, like roughly in this area, this would have been a nice sell. Once again, that I talked about on the Sunday's breakdown. From here back to here, this is still a cool 1,200 pips or 120 points for my people that trade indices, like however I want to call it, right? And then I'm gonna run play on this. Run play on this. After it gave us the 1,500, this is stop. I'm trying to pause it. This is beautiful market structure. It's a little choppy, but it's still beautiful because like I literally, this is textbook. I teach this all the time on the tees. Look, respected price, it rejected. We already knew that was coming. That doesn't mean the overall trend is changing. Obviously, we're still in the uptrend as of right now. The only way we will know that the trend is breaking is until it creates a lower high standpoint. So the first rejection happens, great. In this instance, technically, this is a higher low. It goes to retest the previous resistance level. So far, it fails to close, but so far, it's still not closing lower than the current higher low, which is right here. And then all of a sudden, we go into New York session today on Thursday. The market actually absolutely breaks out of the zone because of the news. It gave us a beautiful breakout, a beautiful momentum buy move, and then came back and decided to retest the previous zone that it broke out of. Hint, hint, that same price trap area I was just teaching you guys down here, right? Breakout, retest to the zone, market closes back above the zone, fails to close back inside. Another sniper entry that you guys could have looked at, took off of the buys once you got like a bullish engulfing candlestick. And boom, continuation with the overall trend. Poetry. And that's where we are now on the charts, where we're seeing the market potentially, once again, creating another higher low area to continue with the uptrend, or potentially, actually looking at this could be a head and shoulders pattern on US30. Left shoulder, highest point head, closes back inside, give us a price trap, it starts the downtrend. But that's too much data, too much, quote unquote, like guessing or thinking if the market is going to do that. We can only go based off of what we're seeing. And as of right now, the only thing logically that would make sense is if it just bounced off of this previous resistance level right here and become another higher low for the continuation of the uptrend. Because the trend as of right now is an uptrend move. I'm sorry I took that long. I feel like I just went like fully in detail on US30 for a quick second. We still got 3-4 other pairs to focus on. So I'm gonna try to like I guess not really, I guess speed it up in a sense, but not really, because like technically the other pairs are moving identical, so it isn't really that hard to follow along. Everything that I just broke down on US30, apply that same concept to the other ones, right? SPX, so it will probably be the only other one that I'll go more in detail with as well, because this was another one like both sides played out perfectly, right? So we had this, I don't think I gave you all this entry, so we're gonna rewind. And this is how you know when you like perfected your strategy or know your strategy to a T. So I can look at the chart from the weekend. and still give you the same exact day night entries that I knew that I would call, because that's how my strategy works. And I realized that the other day when I was like, damn, bro, like I didn't basically gave them the same entry type jump. So the first entry for the buys, I'm looking at it right now though. So was that 50-20. And then obviously TP1 through 4 was all the way back to the 4 resistance level, because at the time, this is the current high. So that's the current high that we went based off of, right? So this was entry, and this was, this was the entry, and then this was the last TP. So the last TP technically was only 250 pips. If you would have held it, obviously you guys know where the market is at currently right now. So this was the first setup. First setup for the buys. The second setup for the sells, I believe I want to say 49.90. I didn't even look at the chart yet. I'm about to actually look over here and see what it was at. But based off of like how I know I usually mark my charts, it should be at 40.90. Actually, I just realized I gave y'all like even another. See, I was all by 5 points. So it was at 49.95. So the entry was that for that was 49.95 for the sales. The entry for the buys was at 50.20. And then actually, I just realized as well, I gave you guys another bonus entry for those buys at 5,005. So same thing we saw on US30, right? The market went to consolidate for a few during Monday. Eventually, it does end up breaking out for those sales, right? After it goes and break out for these sales, it went ahead and smashed our TP1 through 4 for the sales. The final TP that I had for that was actually at 49.75. So as you can see here, that's 20 points or 200 pips. Like I said, depending on how you guys phrase it, for your understanding, how you calculate your take profit goes, 200 pips smash, right? So 200 pips for me, smash for SPX500. The sales are over with now. So on Monday, coming in Tuesday, sales finally activated. Well, technically the sales happened on Monday, TP1 and TP2 smash, but on Tuesday, it finished out smash TP1 through 4. After the sales happened, the market finally eventually decided to make its way back to the top of the zone. So we're letting this sell happen off. We're starting to realize, because I want to make sure, let me rewind this because I really want to try to see. Why is this area a key level? Why is this area a key level? This was a previous support that started the buys to the left of the chart. February 14th, this was an area where the market pushed, retest, came back for the buys. I slide this over a little bit further. This was the same area that it broke out of, started the buys. It's the same area that it took off for the sales. This entry, this price at 49.55 is a sniper entry. This is a key price level, quote unquote, that we talked about. The same way I teach y'all with US30, same principle that you want to apply for SPX500. And that's why we saw like why that was kind of like played as a support level. Fake breakout, take back off of the buys. But obviously we couldn't predict this buy move because this was at the end of the day on the Wednesday evening, right? But what I teach you, well, y'all learned it now. The analysis that I gave y'all, if it still ends up coming back to this level, that setup is still valid, right? So the same way I gave you guys a sell setup that you guys caught 200 pips on for the sell, you guys could have caught another 250 pips on for the buys. And actually, since the overall trend became the buy move, this trade actually ended up taking off for a little bit more than, I feel like, yeah, I'm about to say like 600 pips, right? So technically that wick, that's a 700 pip candle or quote unquote 70 point candlestick for you guys. But that was a crazy buy move on SPX. Crazy buy move. And like I said, like for everything else, I ain't gonna break down everything else. But for the most part, you guys know like the rest is history. All the other sets I gave you guys for the Sunday's analysis. That same exact concept I taught you guys about understanding the price, understanding support, why, what was the reason why they took off for buys, or not necessarily. We can't really explain the reason why they took off for buys because it wasn't on news. It wasn't no volatility in the market. It was around 3 p.m., 4 p.m. And it's actually a gem in that. Remember that time? That's all I'm saying. Remember that time. But each level met its support, took off for the buys. Once it came back to side zone, it showed us the overall trend was the buy moves. Generally 40, man. Like, even this period, like last night, I was like, cool. Like, if we want to come back for these sales, perfect. But since I knew it was a lot of GBP news and Euro news, I was like, we could just hold the buy sales on this one too. But this was a trade I wish I would have called out another buy entry off of this break from my chat, but I did. LA, man. Put LA in the chats for that. But yeah, Japan pair though. At Japan pair, we made up for it. I don't even think I gave y'all actual setup for the Japan chat, but let me come back to the main camera. We can talk about more over there. And so literally on the charts, I promise y'all, like, it's really a patience game. I gave you guys the analysis on Sunday. As you can see, some trades played out on Tuesday. So that means you would have had to wait one day on Monday, right? Couldn't trade Sunday, couldn't trade Monday. The trade actually came out to play on Tuesday. And then we had another play, obviously the big move that finally happened today because of the news and everything. They came out on Thursday. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, you see how that's only literally 2 trading days out of the whole entire week that we actually really hopped on the charts and actually caught big moves that we were looking for. So I want you guys to, like, my new people that's following me, or my new traders, or even my experienced traders, whatever level you are, it really don't matter. This week was really like a test of patience, a test of discipline. Even for myself, like, I was like, all right, you know what? Let me start looking at the charts. Like, no need. So I got up, made sure I was active, went to the gym. I need to start vlogging the gym content. I'm so trash. I have not been vlogging the gym content. Because your boy I've been putting in that work. Been feeling great. So, what do I want to say? What else? What do I want to talk about? Stay tuned, right? Stay tuned for next week's Sunday breakdown, right? Every week, I'm bringing it back every Sunday by 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I might try to do it earlier, get it out to y'all earlier than that. Probably like right before the session even starts, like 5 p.m. Be on the lookouts on the YouTube channel. And if my Academy members, be on the lookout in the Academy section, with the talk section and stuff. But I think that's it, man. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, we are 1 week out. Well, next Friday, March 1st, the Art of a Sniper the Art of a Sniper book is dropping to the public. So if you want access to my strategies, you want to see how I see the market from my point of view, how I was able to call out these trades, that slacking TPs left and right for you guys, make sure you go ahead and purchase it. Make sure you pre-order, do what you got to do. Now, your boy is officially done. Peace out.